Now we will discuss about this Post-Mauryan Empire. Post-Mauryan Empire. Now we are discussing about this Post-Mauryan Empire from 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE. After this decline of Mauryan, disintegration of Mauryan Empire, there were rise of regional states. So in different region, these different rulers emerge. If you particularly talk about this northwest part of India, if you see in the northwest part of India, so this is northwest part of India. So in the northwest part of India, during this time, the Central Asian tribes, the ruling clan of the Central Asian tribes, now they have invaded the northwest part of India. Why? Because they have seen this vacuum, political vacuum. Earlier this Mauryan Empire was strong, but now there is no strong empire in India. So during this time there was invasion of Central Asian tribes. First Indo-Greeks came, also called as Bactrians, then Shakas, and then Kushan. So if you see from the 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE, we have first Indo-Greeks or Bactrians, then Shakas, and then Kushan. Next, if you see in this Gangetic Valley, we have just seen this, who was responsible for end of this Mauryan Empire, final end, this Pushyamitra Shunga. So now this Pushyamitra Shunga established this Shunga dynasty. Pushyamitra Shunga established this Shunga dynasty, and later this Shunga was replaced by Kanva or Kanva dynasty. And then after this small like Maitrikas and all, you don't have to remember, after the Shungas and Kanvas, then there was establishment of Gupta Empire in the 3rd century CE. So if you see in the northwest part of India, we have this Central Asian tribe, Indo-Greek, Shakas. After the Shakas, we have these Parthians, but sometimes they ruled parallelly, simultaneously. So mainly we have this Indo-Greeks or Bactrians, Shakas, and then Kushan. In the north part of India or Gangetic Valley, we have the Shungas, followed by this Kanva. Then here in the Deccan part and some western part of India, we have this Satavahans. In the Deccan part of India and western India, we have this Satavahan here. But remember, if you consider this western part of India, particularly this region, in the western part, so here in the central as well as western, means Deccan part of Deccan as well as western part of India, there was Satavahan. Remember, here we have the Shakas. After Indo-Greeks came the Shakas, and the Shakas have 5 branches. One ruling from northwest, second ruling from here, third ruling from here, and remember the 4th branch of Shaka ruling from this western India, particularly this part of Gujarat, and these are called as Western Kshatrapas. These are called as Western Kshatrapas, and they continue to rule till this 4th century CE, till this Gupta period. So remember, here we have this Indo-Greeks, Shakas, Kushans, here we have the Shungas and Kanvas, here we have this Satavahan plus Western Kshatrapas. So Western Kshatrapas, which was the branch of Shaka, was also ruling from here. If you consider this part of Odisha, that is Kalinga, it was ruled by Chedi Mahameghawahanas dynasty. Chedi Mahameghawahan dynasty or Chedi Mahameghawahanas. And if you consider this part of Punjab, Haryana, here you will see republics, tribal republics during this period. Example is Yudhya. Example Yudhya. So if you see in the different part of India, we have already discussed during the time of Ashoka, we have here Chola, Cheras and Pandya. The same continued from 3rd century BC to 3rd century CE. So in this lecture we are talking about till 3rd century CE, from 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE. So we already have this Chola, Cheras, Pandya, they will remain there. In the northwest part of India, we have this Indo-Greeks, Shakas, followed by Kushan. In the north part of India, we have the Shungas, followed by Kanva. In the Deccan part, we have this Satavahan, Deccan as well as western part. But remember, in the western part, from this 1st to 4th century CE, we also have this Western Kshatrapas. Similarly, in the Kalinga or coastal part of Odisha, we have this Chedi Mahameghavahans, and in the Punjab and Haryana, we have some tribal republics. That is, example I have given this Yudhya. Here I am talking about this 2nd century BC. 2nd century BC. Then we will discuss what happened in this 1st century BC, 1st century BC, and then we will discuss about what happened from 1st century C to 3rd century C. We know after this 3rd century C we have this Gupta, so we have to discuss from 2nd century BC to 3rd century C. If you consider this northwest part of India, if you consider this northwest part of India, we already know in the 2nd century BC who came in the northwest part of India? Indo-Greeks. After the Indo-Greeks, who came in the northwest part of India? Shakas. And after Shakas, we know this Kushans ruled from 1st century CE to 3rd century CE. Here we have these Kushans. So from this 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE, in the northwest part of India, first we have Indo-Greeks, then Shakas, and then Kushan. Now we will see what happened in this North India or Gangetic plain. North India or Gangetic plain. So now tell me, this Maurya in the Gangetic plain or North India was followed by which dynasty? We have already discussed Maurya in the North India or this Gangetic Valley was followed by which dynasty? Yes, Shunga dynasty. So here we have this Shunga. Then we have this Kanva dynasty. Remember, there are many dynasties, small families were ruling in the north part of India or Gangetic Valley. These individual family or dynasties are not important for your exam. Next we will discuss about Deccan plus Western India. Deccan plus part of Western India means Gujarat. So if you consider initially from this, remember the Satavahanas ruled from 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE. So continuously we have Satavahanas in the Deccan part of India as well as western part of India. So here we have this Satavahans, here we have this Satavahans, here also we have this Satavahanas. Remember, we have this Satavahanas in the Deccan and western part of India from 2nd century to 1st century CE, 2nd century BC to 3rd century CE. At the same time, we have already discussed the Shakas have 5 branches and its 4th branch was also ruling in this western part of India from 1st century to this 4th century CE. So during this time, along with the Satavahans, we also have this Western Kshatrapas. Western Kshatrapas. So Western Kshatrapas are nothing but this branch of Shaka. And then in the South India, that is Tamil Nadu and Kerala, we have this Chola Chera Pandya, continuously from 3rd century BC to 3rd century CE.